Alright, it is Gremlin with the old Gremlin Gamer here. And so before we go into relics, I did want to touch back on a little bit more to do with class mods. Uh, Viewer request for a little more on Salvador. So this is actually my mule for Salvador. So he's only has a little bit on him. But what I currently have is a legendary Gunzerker level 80, which I probably got with one of my level 80 characters and put it back for them. My main Gunzerker is getting close to 80, so I'm glad to have that. And then we have the legendary Titan, which I've already had, and I probably acquired the same way. And then I'm holding on to one for my Krieg. And then here's another interesting one. This is the Raider class mod. The Raiders give you increased assault rifle accuracy, but you do take a penalty to your shield capacity. But the main reason why I grabbed this one is because of the 6 points to the money shot skill, which is just crazy. That's pretty much the max points you can put into that skill. Of course, I can't equip it to show that, but it just puts that at a whole new level. So if you really enjoy making the most of money shot, even though the other aspects of this class mod are a little wanting, there are other, in fact, probably the more coveted one would be the Tiny Tina one that gives you increased critical hit damage. I could be wrong, but I think that one also does have a chance of rolling with a money shot perk on it as well. But that was the key reason for scooping up this one. That said, I'm going to go ahead and look at his relics real quick as well. There's not as many on here as I'd hoped for, but I do have a different bit of variety. So for one, we do have a stockpile relic. So once again, this one is giving you 43% more pistol ammo, as well as 3 bonus grenades. This is pretty nice, especially like if you're running like a double pistol set with him. If you like pistols, or just once again, if you have like a Herald or especially a DP Herald and a 2 for a Maggie, yeah, this is a brilliant thing to have on because you are just going to front load damage with the 2 nastiest pistols in the game. And the free grenades don't hurt either, especially if you haven't got around to getting any of the spell grenades from Tiny Tina just yet. Next, we have the rare loot chance. This one is usually one that you get from originally back in the day, the pre-order, but it's pretty much default now. You start with this relic, and it just basically increases your chance of rare loot by 5%. It's arguable to whether this really helps or not, but a lot of people like to rock it just for the hell of it. Then we have a cooldown rate one. Nothing really fancy there. These are pretty common. And a max health. Once again, these can be very useful, especially in the early game, when you don't have a lot of ways to increase your cooldown. You may not have reached any skills to help with that yet, or just want some more health or more shield. Once again, relics can come in a lot of variety. So let's go see what's in the safe real quick. Since this is my mule character, there's no telling what's in there. Try to keep space on him so when I have to dump stuff. Of course, that was easier back on the PlayStation 3. Not so easy on the PlayStation 4. Almost pretty much stuck using the secret stash to move stuff from character to characters. A lot of 72 guns. And a couple of shields. I do not have any relics or class mods on this guy. I'll have to do some house cleaning. Alright, so let me switch over real quick. To my main Salvador. Let's see what he's looking at. I just hit level 76 with him yesterday. Basically just reset my playthrough because basically story missions are going to give you the most experience, And at the end of the day, you just want to be able to get everything to level 80 and start fresh. So there's no reason to play all the way through when you can just reset, play to a certain point, reset, especially if you know you're getting close to level. But that's one way. That way you can go back and get some of those early game legendaries at the appropriate level. There he is. Let's see, do I have any other... Oh, I got a second mule. Let's see what's on him real quick. There's his ugly bug. Ooh, I may not have anything on this guy yet because it looks like I just created him. Let's double check. He's got some stuff. Yeah, he does. So there we have a slag elemental relic. Basically increases all damage done with a specific damage type, so it increases slag damage. Now, once again, slag doesn't not do damage over time like other elements, but it does do an initial dose of damage. And one of the things I discovered is with any of the slag weapons or grenades, or even like the Necromancer's interspersed outburst skills, slag does a lot of damage. And it's, yeah, even though it doesn't do damage over time, it does do a lot of initial damage, and of course it makes them weaker to any other damage type. The only downside is having to switch over. So I do guess. So here is a stockpile. SMG ammo increase, sniper rifle increase, and grenade rifle. Good lord, grenade increase. This was actually a pretty nice combo since I have a couple of different characters that do make use of snipers and SMGs, and you can't sneeze at free grenades. And this is another classic. Now, I used to use this one quite a bit. I used to always try and get this relic as soon as I could. You get this one for doing the good, the bad, and the Mordecai. It's your main reward. And to be honest with you, there's the amount of increased experience you get here really just kind of comes down to if you're killing bosses. So if you're farming, I mean, I've found that for the most part, if you're just farming a boss for an item, even if it's a level or two below you at this point, you actually get a lot of experience from that. So if you're using this in combination with just, hey, I'm going to go farm this boss for a few rounds, throw this on, you might actually gain a few levels a lot quicker that way. But against general mobs, probably not as much of a gain, honestly. You'd probably better off running something else. But once again, it just kind of depends. Another one is if you're doing a bit of an in-game cheat, you can do with Gauge, where you can basically, there's racks flying around in the warrior's arena, so even after you defeat the warrior, they're still flying around. And if you summon Death Trap, he will basically stay out almost indefinitely killing rack, because every time he gets a kill, he stays out. So that, and combined with this relic, you can kind of cheese a bit of a level up glitch there. So let's see what else he's got. Oh yeah, he's carrying some class mods for Gauge. And there's what I was looking for. So there's that Merciful Nurse class mod that gives my health regen, or actually team health regen for everybody, as well as improving some of her other healing abilities. And so yeah, it doesn't look like he's got squat on him. Let's go see if there's anything in the safe real quick. And yes, actually no, this is his first playthrough. There's not going to be a safe there, I don't think. Alright, never mind. Let's get back to the original Salvador, so we can get to the relics, because I'm pretty sure I've got a nice little collection of relics on my main Sal, or as I have him named in this. lost him. Where'd he go? Okay. Alright, so once again we're looking at that legendary Gunzerker, Titan, and Berserker, as well as the Hoarder. So the Hoarder is once again his kind of team support class mod. Basically gives bullet regeneration to everybody. And get some pretty decent skills there. Lay the waste and fill the brim. And then his evil monk, yeah, there's what I'm talking about right there. I guess I should probably get rid of that one. So yeah, 6 points to money shot, as well as that increased the critical hit damage. Let's see, relics. So with him we're running that explosive damage relic, because I'm mostly using Torg weapons. But we also have the Bone of the Ancients, and this is the one I used to really like to run on Gage to increase her her shock damage and her cooldown for getting Death Trap out. These are pretty good on everybody, honestly, depending on whether you have an elemental preference or not. Just getting two nice buffs. And I'll also be showing where and how to farm for these magenta E-Tech colored relics that are a bit more powerful than your regular purple relic. So then of course got the corrosive version, and then we have a Skin of the Ancients. Nice combo there, shock resistance, explosive resistance, and shield capacity. That's a pretty nice roll if there ever was one. Because usually explosive damage will mess you up good. It'll knock a shield down pretty fast. Same with shock damage. And then a bump to your capacity. Yeah, that's one that would be great on any character. There's the fire version of my Bone of the Ancients, and then another stockpile relic, assault rifle, sniper rifle, and grenade. Let's go see if I got anything in the vault real quick. I forgot I just started the game. I was like, why am I being bombarded? Alright, yeah, we do have some more relics. So here we have another Skin of the Ancients. This one, strangely enough, is only providing explosive and shield recharge rate. Still not bad. That's why I snagged it. I don't think this is quite as good as the other one I'm holding right now. Regular purple here. Once again, it's the melee override. Honestly, I don't really make use of this on anybody, so I'm not really even sure why I have this. Don't really use the alt melee on Salvador or Maya. I did when I was originally playing through with Zero, because I was going for that melee build. Don't know of anybody else who would actually make use of that. So then we have another good, just shield capacity recharge rate. That's a nice one on anybody. This is a unique one I haven't gotten to yet. These are the Allegiance relics. These relics usually give you a bonus, especially that usually favors the perks of that weapon manufacturer. And basically they're allegiance to the manufacturer. Use a TDR weapon and it's going to get this perk. Maliwan, Jacobs, etc. In the case of the TDRs, these can be ridiculously bizarre, just over the top. Basically gives you increased magazine size of 67%. So what this means is you chunk guns and everything dies. Downside is you will burn through ammo so fast it's not even funny. But once again, if you're using a little bit of not being quite so hasty to chunk guns, and you have a good Salvador build with, hey, maybe one of those relics that gives you ammo regen, this could get stupid really fast. And we have another stockpile, assault rifle, launcher, and sniper. Okay, one that didn't actually have a grenade perk to it. So yeah, that's kind of the variety that you can get on those. You could also find some that are not so much a allegiance, more of a weapon specific. Like you'll do increased damage with sniper rifles, increased damage with this or increased fire rate, possibly increased reload speed with a specific type of weapon. You can get really specific with these. That's kind of the other interesting thing about relics is that they can really give you a lot of different diversity where you can really min-max all kinds of things on your character, just depending on what you're trying to get, the effect you want, whether you're trying to increase survivability, you're trying to increase damage, you're trying to increase a certain damage type, um, or to, yeah, I mean, it's just, there's a lot of flexibility here, and this is a lot of the reason why you'll end up having to make mules is to store all of these random various relics and class mods for each character. And I haven't even gotten into grenades and shields. It occurred to me the other day, I was thinking about this. It's like I kind of should do some basic reviews over grenade types, shield types, and weapon types, because there are some specific archetypes for shields and grenades as well. And of course, with most cases, you usually have a legendary version of those. So in this case, this is the Neogenitor. This is a immunity type shield. This is the legendary version, though, where it basically increases your elemental resistance to the last elemental type you receive damage from. This one has the benefit of also regenerating health. Shield damage increases health regeneration rate. This shield on paper sounds really good, but most people are pretty disappointed with how it performs. It does have a dramatically higher elemental resistance than your average immunity shield, 68%. Most are closer to 30 or 40%. Once again, these are just kind of situational as far as when they're really good or useful. Then we have the Rough Rider. Alright, so this is the one I was talking about that works with certain skills. As you can see, there really is no capacity. You do get increased damage resistance, and then it increases your max health by 325,000. So red text, it takes a moose. It takes more than that to kill a bull moose. Increases max health, increases resistance to all damage types. So, although you don't technically have a shield and all damage you're getting is going directly to your health will be at stupidly high levels, and the damage resistance definitely helps a lot. And as I mentioned, there are certain perks with certain characters, in particular Krieg and Salvador, who can really take advantage of that shield. So basically any kind of a perk or skill where you receive a bonus or an improvement. Let me see if I can find it. Like here's a good one. Increases fire rate with all gun types when your shields are depleted. So if you're using out of the bubble gum with the Rough Rider, this skill is always active. Your fire rate will have a constant boost. I forgot what it is when it's maxed out, but it's kind of stupid. Let's see. Health. Damage customers. I know there's another one in here where you get a benefit of not having shields down. Well, alright, I'm being too hasty, but I'm pretty sure there's another skill he has for when your shield's down. actually be in this tree. This one could actually work in regards with that, because basically you're taking health damage. And this one probably as well, because once again, taking damage causes you to regenerate health. So this 3 skills here actually all kind of gel together as far as you being able to keep those perks active as often as possible and allowing you to really maximize use of that lack of an actual shield. I do know there's a couple of skills that Maya has as well that lets her benefit from it, but running her with a Rough Rider is a little risky. Anyways, so let me see if we have any other relics of interest I can pull up for us. Don't want to drag this video out too long because it gets kind of stretched out with these load times between changing characters. Let's see if I had a lot of stuff on one of my Necromancers. And let's check the first one. I hope the hold music is not coming through the mic in the background, because it's really obnoxious. Alright, so yeah, we got some interesting relics here. This is a Shadow of the Seraphs. So there are, in the DLCs, other raid bosses that you can defeat who drop Seraph Crystals. These Seraph Crystals you can actually take to a special vendor who sells a handful of Seraph weapons, gear, with the pink unique coloring. And these are kind of a mixed bag depending on which one you're looking at, but they're all pretty interesting. So this one is the Shadow of the Seraphs extra shot chance. Basically every time you fire a gun you have a chance to fire twice. It doesn't sound all that powerful, but this is a crazy skill. They actually put in, I'd have to double check on Zero, but I know for a fact in Borderlands 3, Flack has a skill that's basically this relic. Basically does the exact same thing. He gets a chance to fire 2 shots for every single pull of the trigger. Next, stockpile. Yeah, kind of the same old with that one. Another stockpile relic. And there's some interesting stuff for her class mods. Let's go see what she's got in the safe real quick.
We're gonna starve to death out here.
And it looks like it's going to be a lot of guns. Oh, she does have some relics. Alright, so here's a Blood of the Ancients. Max health, shotgun ammo. Kind of a weird combination on that one, to be honest, as far as a Ancients relic. Not a bad combo, just kind of weird. Allegiance, another Allegiance. So this one gives you Molly Wand, increased damage, and reload speed. Which is strange. I would have expected something in regards to elemental damage, but hey, that's still not bad perks at all. TDR. Okay, so this one's a bit different. This one's giving us actually increased damage and magazine size. So actually a superior relic there. Just a straight up cooldown. And here's another interesting one. This is one that you get from a side quest. I don't remember which one, but basically this one is if you're trying to farm vending machines. So for those who don't know, the vending machines usually have a 15 or a 20-minute cooldown. They'll have whatever is available for sale for about 20 minutes before the machines reset. And if you're trying to farm vending machines, that can get tiresome waiting for that. So this speeds up the rate on the timer by 20%, so shave maybe 5 minutes off the wait. But if you're going to various maps, you'll burn through that time pretty quick by the time you've checked the machines you want to check. But that's a weird one. There's actually another one you get from Ellie that actually increases your turbos on your vehicle. And I believe there's one in the campaign of Carnage that also does something in regards to your vehicle, but I kind of forgot. Alright, so let's switch to the other Gauge Mule to see what relic she's sitting on. Cute innocent Gauge there. And where is your sister? There she is. And a bit crazy Gauge there. And what's she packing? Yes, nice little bit of relics here. So we have another stockpile. This one's for submachine guns, launchers, and grenades. Nice combo. I think usually any of the ones that come with extra grenades are usually a better one. Another resistance one. So this one's shock, explosive, and slag. Another nice combination to have resistances from. Another resistance, explosive, and non-elemental resistance. Another stockpile. And, ooh, very chunky TDR magazine size. And so it doesn't look like she has any class mods. So let's go see what's in her vault. And we might check one more character before we call this video a wrap. There's only so much I can show, and as I can tell you, I've kind of purged. But I've got a lot of characters and a handful of mules, and I honestly don't know who's got what on some of them because it's been a long time since I've dug into them. Alright, so it doesn't look like I have any relics on her, unfortunately, or class mods. There's another one of the Seraph items. So this was the hoplite. Interesting concept, and not a very good shield, honestly, though. Capacity increased by 20% for each hoplite equipped in the party. So the idea is there's certain items in the game. One of them just popped up my mind. I think it was like the sheriff's badge, maybe, or the deputy's badge, where everybody receives a perk for every character using it. So in this case, if everybody's using a hoplite, you get an increased 20% capacity on an already high capacity. Movement speed decreased for each hoplite equipped to the party. So this is basically the what is it? The fabled tortoise shield on steroids. So the legendary tortoise shield is the fabled tortoise, which has this insanely high capacity, but it penalizes your speed. The higher the shield capacity, the slower you are. As you take damage, you move faster. this basically does the exact same thing. Of course, it's just increased for each person. You get a penalty and a perk. So for everybody that's rocking a hoplite, you get an increase in capacity, but you also take a hit to your movement speed, which basically gives you the same sluggish, almost unplayable situation you have with the Fabled Tortoise, unfortunately. I think I just kept this for the sake of having it. And then there's a regular tortoise shield, so you can see there's about, it has almost twice the capacity of a regular tortoise shield, and a dramatically higher recharge rate. So there's that, but you also got a dramatically higher penalty to your health as well, though. Alright. Well, so much for that. Let me see if there's anybody else we can scope real quick before we wrap this video up. And maybe go for somebody I haven't looked at yet. I have 3 mules for Gage since she's kind of my main favorite character, and I only have, I think, 1 mule for each of the others. Although actually I think Salvador has 2 mules as well. He was kind of my second favorite there until I played Creed. Yeah, I got 2 mules for him as well. Action bastard. Yeah, everybody else has got maybe 1 mule. Hell, I don't even think I've got a mule for 0. So let's take a look at my commando just for the hell of it. Let's see what he's got on him. Looks funny with that pink gun on his back. But the Cobra is no joke. Alright, so he has a few relics, but I think he's just got, yeah, so we got the explosive relic on him as well, and pretty much the main 2 bones of the ancients you would want or need. And we might have actually each type of his on here, which might be kind of cool. So we have the legendary engineer, which is usually the one I prefer to run on Axton. Gives you cooldown rates and increases to battlefront, resourceful, sentry, impact, able. I'll have to go over that in a second. So we have the legendary point man class. So this one gives you health regeneration and max health, as well as perks to pressure, grit, last ditch, able, and healthy. Then we have the ranger, which gives you increased recharge, shield rate, and delay, which is another good one for him, since he has the skill that basically lets him heal so long as his shields are up. Ranger skill, quick charge, onslaught, impact, and metal storm. And then we have the soldier class mod. Now this one gives him, this is his base class mod, soldier. So this one gives him cooldown rate, gun damage, and fire rate, as well as sentry, ready, impact, expertise, healthy, and preparation. So let's see why I'm not using this versus that. Because they both give you cooldown. You're only getting slightly more cooldown with the engineer mod, so it probably comes down to where it's putting the points. Is that gun damage and fire rate sound like they would be the superior option. So we're getting 10 shot burst on that. We're getting 4% health regeneration when our shield's up. Oh no, damage enemy cause you regenerate. So that my bad. So yeah, once again, as long as you're killing something or your turret's killing something, you're going to be regenerating health with that. Here we go, damage. So there's a 40% gun damage increase right there, which would only be 20 if I was using the other class mod, I think, but we'll see here in a second. And then we're getting increased damage, melee damage, grenade damage whenever my turret's deployed. And then extremely high cooldown on the turret itself. So let's see what this other action skill does. Soldier. Alright, so once again we're still getting that, but we're swapping our health regeneration for reload speed. Keeping this skill. But we're now getting this one, which is just giving us weapon swap, aim, and movement speed, where before we were getting that increase, dramatic increase to all of our damage whenever the turret's out. So I think I'd rather have that extra damage over the weapon swap and movement speed. Now, admittedly, this is kind of fun, the speed this high, but not necessarily useful. Max health, increased shield capacity. Yeah, so that one, you know, once again, it's working good as it is, especially with this other thing healing you. Once again, this is where I forgot what was getting a bonus on this tree. Actually, there may not have been anything getting a bonus on this tree with the other. Oh yeah, we were getting this. So we were getting that cooldown. So kind of seems like this would be the better one to go with. So that's probably why I've been going with that one. Alright. So let's quickly check his safe real quick and see if there's anything in there. Skin of the Ancients. That one's pretty hefty. Shock resistance, corrosive resistance, shield capacity, and recharge rate. And then an incendiary bone of the Ancients. So nothing too flashy there. And there's some of his class mods. So I think that's where we're going to wrap this video up. I will be working on a future video once I kind of go through some of the gear to go through the various archetypes for shields and grenades. Just because once again these are kind of, some of them are very useful, some of them not so useful, some of them work better with some characters, better with others. Sometimes it comes down to personal preference, but it's just nice to know you have a breakdown of all the different types of shield options you have, all the different grenade options you have, and that, you know, not even getting into the legendary uniques and so on and so forth. Alright, well that's it for today. Take care.